Hello, I wanted to actually do a video in response to your recent video that you made regarding blacks having a chip on their shoulder. I guess this is in response, I guess, to a video that you saw where I guess it was that lady that, and I think I know who you're talking about. It's I guess a lady that always wants to be the commentary or who does commentary on Mr. Boyce's materials or whatever that he talks about. She's very learned, I think, in my opinion, and I think there's some things that she actually said that maybe can be taken a bit too far, but, again, YouTube gives us that right to express our opinions and say what we want to say, for the most part. That's within reason, of course, without being overly insulting. But I actually wanted to kind of zero in on your take, or as far as, blacks having a chip on their shoulder. You actually gave a lot of real and honest, things that you've been through, that actually led to you to come to your conclusion that, that blacks, for the most part, have a reason to have a chip on their shoulder. Now, again, I guess generally speaking on the surface, I guess you would have a point. But for the most part, that's pretty much, generally speaking, I mean, that's pretty much where we're going to actually really agree. But the thing about it is that with me, like I said, I'm not, our relationship, I know we don't really correspond much, I guess, but, there are times when we do, sit down and maybe do a back and forth short exchange on different thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. And for the most part, we always, not always we would agree on things, but we just know that, we don't see eye to eye on some things that we can actually come away with, not losing respect for each other. And that's pretty much what I can appreciate about you. You allow, you can express difference of opinion, but you don't allow it to really get personal. But I think for the most part, going back to the issue regarding the fella that actually, shot the two reporters, I think in Virginia there. What we have to understand and kind of really take and really kind of, I think what we should already know is that the news does not really tell you everything. And like I say, they only tell you enough just for you to keep, I guess, just for our mouths to salivate. And what I mean is that they will actually say just enough to kind of keep you wanting to actually form strong opinions without really going in and really doing really deep research on why, an event happened. I don't know, and I have my theories. I think it's because they want to maintain their ratings. They want to even get newer people to start watching their material. I mean, there's always a reason why people do things, and you have to really pay attention in the manner and how they do things. Even when it comes to broadcasting news, it's important that we actually keep things in its proper perspective, meaning that, we don't know everything about anything. I mean, again, people only give us things, and news outlets give us things only just enough for what they want us to know, where we actually have an opinion, where we, are able to really go off of what they're saying. And for the most part, that's why I learned that before I actually do anything, I've gotten to the point where I research. I know that you've actually, do the same thing too, I would hope. But I know I take that seriously. I don't really go and jump onto anybody's bandwagon or take anybody's opinion on something without actually having research or to come to my own conclusions. I don't go off of what somebody else says. I mean, I may take in what they say in consideration, but you best believe I'm going to go ahead and do my own research too. And according to what I find, I'm going to take what they say and what I find, and then guess what? I'm going to come to my own conclusion and give you that. But for the most part, there's a lot of things that was actually said or brought up, I guess, that, as far as the fella, the perpetrator, the one who shot the two people, a lot of the things that he was going through. Number one, he was black. Okay. Number two, he's gay. And number, three is that, he was fired. Like I say, those are the only facts that I know of. Now, if you know of anything more than that, then of course, it is what it is. But I'm only going by pretty much the facts that I actually, that pretty much everybody across America knows. I mean, and for the most part, there was reports also that was saying that they was ridiculing him and everything like that. Now, I agree, we as black folks have a heavy burden. And the thing about it is that a lot of it has a lot to do with how we constantly want to be accepted by white society. And again, everything that we go through, it always has ties back to the slavery type of mindset. And I hate to say that, but you can't deny what is there. we as black folks always have a tendency of wanting to be accepted. You know, we will do anything we want to be accepted, all because we just don't want to really face up to the fact that, you know, America still wants to see us and classify us as second-class citizens. I'm being real. I'm not going to put on any airs and anything like that. That's why I can appreciate your material. But the issue is that we actually have to get out of that mindset and know that we are unique people. You know, and the thing about it is that, you know, even though we are unique, we still hang on to some of those remnants of the past as far as, you know, what whites have done to us. To the fact that we, as you said in your video, that causes us to carry a chip on our shoulder. Now, am I saying that that's right or wrong? I'm going to sit there and I'm going to say this, is that we've been flying by the seat of our pants. We've been doing whatever we had to do to make whatever we can make happen. And if that included carrying a chip on our shoulder, that's what we did, and we did it proudly. I personally don't like that philosophy. I don't like, you know, having to carry some sort of attitude about myself around for other people to really to bow down to say, you know what, that's the way it is. You just have to accept it. I mean, the thing about it is that in life we have choices. You know, we can either let go of the past and live for the future, or we can continue to let the past, you know, dwell within us, where it can actually destroy our future, our present and our future. I'm not discrediting anything that you said, Queen Ifama, because like I said, you made valid points in your video. But what we got to understand is that the fact that we carry a chip on our shoulder really is the reason why we go through a lot of the things that we go through as black folks. I guess you want me to kind of clarify on that. So I guess I'll do the best that I can. I'm not an expert, but I'm not a dummy either. People are afraid to approach us. People are afraid in a general sense to form friendships with us because they already know that we have a perceived attitude that, you know, that only black folks really, you know, I guess, I don't know how to put this. It's like they're afraid to really approach us because they don't really know how we are going to perceive them. I mean, the thing about it is that if you have whites that have black, you know, people as friends, you best believe and know that they are watching them very closely. And I think I mentioned, I alluded to that in a past video that I did where I asked the question, or I answered the question, can blacks be racist as well? And, you know, and I think it's because of that particular issue that we have a hard time really living in this day and time. I mean, it's a sad thing. And I mean, you have some people that are fine with it. I mean, of course you are, where you only have friends or associates or whatever, or people who you allow in your inner circle who happens to be black. You know, meaning that you exclude everybody else out who's not black because you automatically perceive them to be, you know, the enemy. It may not be what you're saying, but for the most part, you know, that's pretty much what I'm gathering from what you're saying. Now, whether or not you want to live your life that way, that's totally up to you. You are a grown, mature woman who is able to clarify and actually bring your thoughts across in a competent manner. Like I say, I got you on that part. But I think that we limit ourselves when we actually say, you know what, I don't want to be, you know, don't talk to me because, you know, you're this way, you know, or that way. I cannot sit there and close myself off to someone who wants to befriend me just because of what their ancestors may have done. I do that, and basically, guess what? I may be cutting off future or possible business opportunities that may help me grow to, you know, to become a successful person, maybe open a business or something like that. You can't navigate your life going through life like that when you have hurts from the past where it's clouding your judgment on what's going on now. And basically, you know, I guess the fellow that actually shot the two reporters, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, he was going through a lot of stuff. More stuff than what the TV broadcast or the news media is really telling us. That's why it's like it takes a lot. And like I said, we as black folks, we're strong because we've been through a lot. But it takes a lot, I think, for the average black person to click like that. Being gay, like I say, I don't particularly agree with that lifestyle. Like I say, I'm not going into that. But the issue is that that's pretty much one issue. Being black is another issue. We already know that. And like I say, and just wanting to be, accepted as just an equal human being, that's a burden in and of itself. That's something that we've been doing time and time for decades. And like I say, even though there are laws that are created, on the books that's supposed to create an equal environment for black folks, we still know and are still cognizant of the fact that we still have a long way to go. We do. We have a long way to go. And like I say, and it's going to be an ongoing fight because, again, somebody feels that, white is better. I don't know what it's going to take for these knuckleheads to get it through their head that we're all equal human beings. If I cut you, you bleed red blood just like I do. But somehow along the way, the message is still there and clear, about that. And like I say, I mean, you can choose to accept it, or you can choose to just ignore it, and fight against it. I'm not saying that I'm going to give in to the fact of whites being better than me, because the thing about it, I know better. Nobody gave me anything. Everything that I worked for, I had to put forth and sweat my own. Yeah, I may have gotten, help here and there from somebody who happens to not be black, but the overall thing is that I actually had to put in the hard work myself. And maybe go with some of the suggestions, what they did, or maybe the things that they told me that, could help me. But I actually had to turn around and internalize that and say, okay, am I going to go with their advice, or am I going to do my own thing, and make this thing happen for myself? Like I say, I think, again, do blacks have a chip on their shoulder? Yes, I would say they do. Some of it, yeah, you may say that it was created and caused by white folks. And then some of it, I would say, is that that's something that we created ourselves, wanting to play the victim in a lot of things. And I will never, ever adapt that type of ideology that some black folks are comfortable with living. Because basically, when you play the victim in a lot of things, and I'm not saying that the dude who shot those people are playing the victim, but I'm saying just generally speaking, when we do that, it really devalues our efforts, to classify us as being strong and independent folks. If you actually took a look, and I could only imagine that the people who actually, lived in the pasture in slavery, Harriet Tubman and all these people who actually, helped, revolutionize blacks as we know it. If they'll actually just sit there and look at the behaviors of us as black folks today, I mean, I think a lot of times, in most cases, they would actually shake their heads in shame. They would roll over in their graves. I mean, if they could come back from the grave, I think they would kind of really give a lot of us a double slap. Because they may say that we are not representing African-American culture, African-American heritage, African-American history well. Now, again, there are some things that we as black folks went through in the past that we just cannot get over, and that we, that we should not forget. And like I say, I get that, slavery. Like I say, a lot of people, it irks me when I hear a lot of people say, what, slavery is dead and gone, get over it. You're living in a new day. Yeah, I'm living in a new day, but you cannot tell me, and it's unfair and it's really despicable for you to tell me to forget about my past. Now, like I say, I wasn't born in that particular era, but like I say, I'm not ignorant to the fact of what was done to my people. Now, let's kind of keep this here with this. Just because I know what was done to my people, that doesn't mean that I actually have to live like I'm still in that era. And I think a lot of people, of the, earlier, of the, earlier generations, of the 1930s and 40s, people who were born in 50s, 60s, or whatever, they're still living in that mindset. Not all, but a lot of them are. And the thing about it, I think that a lot of black folks actually also cause a lot of other black folks to have chip on their shoulders, because they're constantly reminding them of how white folks view them as far as, being at the bottom of the scale, being, not capable and stuff like that. Look, I already know pretty much the odds that are against me as a black man. I don't need someone else who is black to keep telling me and reminding me of that. What I need is for somebody to kind of, let's say, even though this is how America sees us, this is who we really are. We are intelligent people. We are creative people. We can get out there and do our own and make our own, run our own businesses, build our own stores, build up our children, raise our children to be successful people. So basically, we will have something to carry on, from generation to generation. These are the type of people that I'm trying to surround myself with. I'm not saying that what you're saying, if Queen Ifama, is anything negative. I mean, it's real, but like I say, it's not really the total package. Like I say, a lot of people may look at this video and say, you know what? He is cooning for white folks and stuff like that. You can call it whatever you want. Like I say, that's another terminology that I just don't like and that people just throw around every day, and they really don't understand what that really means. They're just saying it because they've heard somebody else say it and popularized off of it and got a lot of views here on YouTube because of it. Like I say, sometimes we can be followers as well. We don't really develop our own direction. We follow what other people are doing and hope that it makes us successful. That's why we need to have our own backbone and do our own thing. But that's the subject of another video. But what I'm saying is that, you know, the dude that actually shot and killed those 2 white reporters, I'm not going to say that he was right in what he did or that he was justified in what he did. I don't know his personal torments or his demons that he was going through. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of reports said that he was fired, but the thing about it, the news reports were saying that he was fired over 2 years ago. So I'm thinking that, you know what, there are a lot of jobs out there in news broadcasting and communications. I would think that, okay, you should have gotten over it. Jobs come and go. A lot of people get fired from one job and end up going and getting something somewhere else. I mean, like I say, it's a part of life. I mean, but apparently he didn't get over it, you know, and of course, I don't know a lot of other things that they added in the pot that contributed to this man cracking and just saying, you know what, to hell with it, you know. But like I say, it's a sad thing. And what I think was wrong also is pretty much, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm a faithful viewer of that TV1 show that comes in the morning with that heavyset fellow, I forgot his name, Roland something or another, TV1 news for something, I don't know. He comes on in the morning times, and it's like a programming that's specifically on TV1 for black folks, you know, that's, you know, discussing issues and everything regarding the black community. And the thing about it is that the minute that he learned of that, Roland Marks, I think that's his name is, the minute that they learned about it, his show learned about it, the only thing he did, he just gave one clip. Just gave one blind statement, you know, I'm sorry for the loss, you know, my prayers go out to the family and everything, you know, who lost, you know, those family members. And that was it. He didn't say anything else about it. He didn't give it no more attention. And he went on about his newscast. Like I say, but had it been someone that was black whose life has been taken, like I say, you know, he would still be talking about it even now, even going and doing in-depth interviews with people to try to paint, you know, the fact that, you know, black folks was, you know, somehow a victim, you know, and was innocent and everything, and, you know, their lives were taken. Like I say, we have a long way to go with race relations, and a lot of this still boils down to the same issue that we're trying to really grasp and wrestle with, and that's called race relations. And, you know, like I say, you know, all of this going on, America is not the melting pot that we once thought it was. It's not the place of opportunity for people of all races and colors. And the thing about it is that anybody who knows the truth will agree with me when I say that. It doesn't matter who you are, white, black, or whatever. We all know the truth about America. America right now is not unified. America right now is more divided than ever. America right now has a lot of prejudice and favoritisms. Yes, they do. You know, and like I said, I'm not a fool. I'm not a dummy. And like I say, I speak the truth. I want to be real. I'm not going to sit up there and put on any airs like folks do. I just keep it real. But like I say, I just wanted to kind of just give a response, you know, to that, you know, because the thing about it is that, like I say, despite the fact that, you know, we have a lot of black folks that are dying, you know, at the hand of white folks, whether it be through, you know, something, you know, as tragic as, you know, what we've seen in Virginia, or, you know, police shootings and stuff like that. You know, the fact about it is that, you know, we're living in a nation now where, you know, it's like the history it doesn't repeat itself. We're going back to the classic era of where we're having riots, you know, having to do with race, equality, having to do with, you know, equal rights. I mean, these are things that I thought that we have already done and that we've already accomplished. But apparently we're going back to old methods, hoping that something new will come out of it. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you, nothing's new going to come out of this. You're still going to have the same old world views and the same people with the same type of old time mindsets saying the same thing. But I want to kind of get a little bit and zero in just for a minute, you know, on the fact about, you know, you don't have to befriend anybody that you don't want to befriend. I guess I have to move a little closer here because I guess I want to get real just a minute. You have the choice to be, you know, to have whatever associate. I mean, like I said, you were very bold. And I think, and that's really, in a sense, what prompted me to also do the video is that you were very bold in the fact that you said you are comfortable with not having white associates or whatever the case may be and stuff like that. And that's fine. Like I say, me and you have had, like, I guess, exchanges about that in the past or what have you. But like I say, you know, whatever makes you happy, then you know what? It's all about you. But I'm going to say this. I know I believe in God. I know that I don't know if you believe in God, and it's really not any of my business whether or not you do or don't. That's totally, you know, you. But I know that I don't want to burn forever. And that even though I know that white folks may not accept me because of my skin color, I still have to turn around and be, you know, and love them. I'm not saying that I have to kiss their behinds, because I'm not going to do that. But I still have to turn around and show some level of civility to them, because that's required of me. And even leaving religion out of it, that's just the human way. That's how you actually win someone over. When you behave like they do, they win. When you give them what they're not expecting, you win. That's a life philosophy that has kept me, you know, I'm not saying that has kept me in good stance with people in white society, but it actually has caused me to live a life where, you know, I'm not actually having to struggle to, you know, talk to folks just because they happen to be a different skin color than me. You treat me bad, I'm going to let you know that you treat me bad, but I'm going to still turn around and give you good. That's the only way that I know how to live. Like I say, because when you're living with these type of things and these issues in your heart, it leads to physical ailments such as high blood pressure, strokes, and all that other type of stuff. And our lives, and the life expectancy of blacks in this country is already short enough. And I'm not going to call somebody else who I don't know, who I may never ever meet, who happens to be of a different skin color, cause me to leave before my time. To me, that's just plain ignorant, and I can't allow that to happen. But like I say, you know, I just want to kind of just bring a bit of wisdom in there as well. Like I say, you know, I'm not criticizing you for anything that you said. Your video, it is what it is. You know, you spoke a lot of truths. I can't deny that. But as you know me, like I say, you know, whenever I feel strong about something, I have to come up there and I kind of have to put my 2 cents in it. Not saying that I'm right or wrong, but I just want to kind of give you my take on the matter as well. So peace out, Queen, and hope to see more videos with you, you know, expressing your viewpoints. I really enjoy them, okay? Keep it hot, keep it heavy, but keep it real.